Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to ESA Corona Relief, supporting Save the Children's Corona Emergency Appeal. Coming up next, we're going to have a very, very exciting run for you. You can obviously see the wonderful runner on your screen right now, looking very, very patient and very, very lovely. First off, can we just get some major love in the chat for our previous host, Mr. Nordic Soy, who did a great job, and to our previous runner, Etiquette, as well, who did a brilliant, brilliant job. Now, moving on from Pokemon, we're going to have, funnily enough, RaichuMGS is going to be running Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, and they're going to be joined by the very lovely Apache and Joseph Joestar himself on commentary. So I will pass you over to them. Take it away, guys.
Hi everyone, I'm Raichu, and I swear they must have planned that with me right after a Pokemon run. And I have two commentators with me. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Apache. I'm a Metal Gear speedrunner.
Hi, I'm Joseph Joestar 316. I'm also a Metal Gear speedrunner.
We're all Metal Gear speedrunners here, all of us.
Wow, what a coincidence.
So yeah, this is...
Imagine that.
Oh, imagine it's unheard of. So yeah, this is Snake Eater, Metal Gear Solid 3. It's like everybody's favorite, I think. But we're going to speedrun it, so we're going to speedrun a new game. Unfortunately, I don't have any English saves, so I'm going to have to... I like MGS3, but we all like MGS3, so why not? And we're going to do it on very easy, European Extreme. And the timer will start when I select the difficulty, so I'll count you down. 3, 2, 1, let's go. And
Good luck.
Now I do absolutely nothing.
After the end of World
I get to do
War
nothing
II,
for a couple of seconds while the snake talks.
II.
So yeah, this is
West.
Snake Eater. This is
The era called the Cold
the hardest
War.
difficulty. I'll be trying in vain for the highest rank, which is Fox Sound. And of course, it's a Metal Gear game, so the first thing we have to do is skip a bunch of cutscenes and some exposition. Now, our first mission is probably the hardest. We have to go collect that backpack over there. This is very tricky, naturally. But if one of you wants to explain while I undergo this tedious task, what's so difficult about European Extreme?
Yeah, so the hardest difficulty is European Extreme. It's called that as a hang-up from Metal Gear Solid 2 when it came out later in the PAL region, and they wanted to add a new difficulty to the game. In Metal Gear Solid 3, they all came out at the same time, but they kept that naming convention. The difference between Extreme and European Extreme is it's game over if discovered. So if at any point a guard sees us, we have no time to react to that. You get about a second, and then it will give you a mission failed, and it'll make you restart the room. Aside from that, the bosses do more damage, and we have a lower health, and there's less bullets in guns, there's less ammo when you pick up ammo packs. It's a really challenging difficulty because essentially any run can kill you off, and at the highest level, basically, you've got to do the whole run without continues. We're going for Foxhound rank, and what that means is there's ranks in the game at the end that tell you basically how well you played. Foxhound's the highest rank. It means no kills, no alerts, no continues, no life meds used. I think I got them all, Joe.
Yeah, and here I thought European Extreme was just by coincidence, since this is being ran for ESA. But but like Apache said, it's European Extreme is definitely its own challenge. Extreme and European Extreme do have a lot of it's a good training step to get up to Euro, but like Apache said, the game over discovered is probably one of the biggest things to overcome when it comes to learning this category. But a lot of the other commonalities, like guard behavior is pretty predictable. Spawn points are also predictable, and as you can see, Raichu's just having a good time, just kind of casually walking up to him. He's like, "Hey, how's it going, buddy?" Just and then what he's trying to do there is as he's bumping into the guard, even though we just talked about game over discovered. Well, there's a little weird delay. As soon as they notice you before the detection kicks in, which allows you to get away with a, delayed roll with a knockback. And you'll notice that he's not really rolling into the guard, but he's rolling past the guard. And again, it's just the hitbox is pretty unique when it comes to Snake's rolls. Most people casually might think, oh, you have to roll into a guard to actually do something, but you can actually walk through them ever so carefully. Oh yeah, that guard's the best guard in the game, by the way.
You can kind of roll.
Give that guy a raise.
You can roll adjacent to them, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the tricks that I used right at the start, and we'll use it again here, is the quick headshot. When you're on the same level as terrain, same like ground level, I guess, as a guard, if you aim at them and then go into first person and like push Snake up onto his tippy toes, I guess, your gun just happens to be aiming right at their head, so it means you can just headshot them instantly without having to fumble around aiming, stuff like that. That's probably what
Yeah,
useful.
we have some pretty cool techs in the game, and that's definitely one that sees the most use. The problem in European Extreme is if you body shot a guard with a tranquilizer round, it takes a long time for him to go down. Even if you put it's like 3 or 4 before he'll go down in the chest, but it only takes 1 to the head. So being able to just take out guards quickly in rooms with that quick headshot setup is really useful for doing these rooms fast. The other trick we saw is if you put a tranquilizer round in a guard and then roll through him, he will be instantly knocked out when he hits the ground. That's also a really useful strategy within the run.
So we have lots of little tricks, and that's probably one of the most used ones. Later on, we'll pick up the cardboard box, and that really just shows you how that exploits CI to ridiculous levels. This might be the most difficult. Difficulty, I'm sorry, I'm concentrating on menus. This might be the hardest difficulty, but the guards are stupid. And we have used that to no end.
Yeah, there's a lot of manipulation going on. I mean, the guards have, amazing vision in like a really huge cone. It's very easy to get spotted, but it's also easy to manipulate those cones and make the guards tunnel in on different things and exploit. They're very exploitable. But it can be tricky when you first learn in the game. There's essentially like an invisible tightrope on every single room that you have to be on perfectly, and if you take a step off of it, you'll get seen.
And I think the room that demonstrates that to the best ability is the one that comes after this. So this kind of repeats the Virtuous mission, where you'll have 2 rooms where there's nobody, just to help you kind of get used to the game a little bit. But coming up is a cutscene, and then a radio, and then probably the hardest strat in the game, honestly.
Yeah, it's easily one of the hardest rooms in the game to do correctly. It is really, really tricky, and it's quite subtle why it's so difficult, but you have to roll at the perfect spot. There's 2 guards in the distance who are going to run towards you, and you don't have a gun anymore. That's taken off you in that cutscene. And you have to roll at a specific angle to ensure that the first guard sees you roll, and the second guard notices him noticing you roll, if that makes sense. And then that will allow us to get past this little path on the right, and then Raichu's going to hold the stun grenade, which silences your footsteps on certain terrain. So while he was priming that grenade, he could walk behind the guard without getting heard. And then this second room here, Dolly Novotno, is another really, really difficult room. We're essentially going to roll behind a tree really quickly. It's not obvious how difficult this room really is, but it's so easy to mess up the movement even slightly. That was really clean, very nice really clean.
I mean, like, it's that strict that, like, you might have noticed I rolled in like the purple grass. If you step out of the purple grass and roll, you're gonna get seen. He's gonna hear you, or he's gonna see you. It's just done. That's how strict those rooms are. They're like pixel perfect almost. And I've noticed like a lot of people trying to learn MGS3 on EUEX, and those 2 rooms are usually what make people just second guess that idea, because they are not fun. And I know even for me, it took me 3 tries to learn MGS3 because of those rooms. And it's like you get past one and like that's great, but then you're met with an even worse one right after.
Yeah, that rope bridge is definitely it can be either very clean or it's very painful to get through just from speedrunning perspective. But now I guess coming up is the first boss encounter, if you would. It's going to be the 1 versus everyone and intense fight against the Ocelot unit. So I guess Apache, maybe you can kind of explain what's going on here with his setup.
Yeah, so this first boss is essentially a set of guards. If they see you at any point, it's still game over and discovered, and you have to take them all out. We're going to be taking them all out non-lethally. The way we do that cleanly is to use each of the guards to distract other guards and make sure they're all in the right position. So you'll notice Raichu's using body shots. He can't just like headshot that first guard because he needs him to distract another guard. He needs to set up those 4 guards for the stun grenade. The guard on the roof is the most difficult because he has like eagle vision, and you basically can't go anywhere on the map until you've taken him out. So he's going to use a trick to manipulate that guard to come over to him. This is unbelievably clean. It's just so clean.
It's like before you know it, it's already over.
You cannot understand when someone does that room that well. You cannot see how difficult it actually is. But if you make any mistake with your shots, if you accidentally headshot a guard, or you accidentally shoot in the wrong place, or you move incorrectly at any point, you will get seen and you get a mission failed. And it's really one of those rooms that compounds mistakes because you have to do that menu at the start over and over again if you make mistakes. So you just lose a ton of time, as well as like the 15 seconds for the actual continue. That was so clean, man.
Yeah, I mean, you also lose a bit part of your sanity after a while when you keep resetting onslaught. Sure. Just take it from me.
So, I do believe the incentive was meant to collect the crocodile cap. So we're gonna go get that real quick. And so I'm gonna grab it now. I won't equip it until the pain, because it's the next chance I'll open my menu anyway. But I'll wear it when I can. And realistically, I can't really wear it in these areas because I need the box. So, but I'll grab it right here because this is our only chance to grab it. So.
Yeah, so the box is used for traversing terrain. Might sound ridiculous, but we can get up hills easier if we're walking in the box because Snake has a stutter animation when he goes up terrain, which prevents him from moving at full speed. But they didn't program that animation of stuttering while he's in the box. So we climb mountains with it. It's a great tool, but we need it for these areas to be able to get through them efficiently. And the movement is so tight in some areas that if you don't use the box, you will get caught, and it's not possible to do. The crocodile cap that the incentive was meant for is kind of like an Easter egg, in the game. It's a piece of camouflage that's not found in the pause menu. It's actually an item, but it is as it sounds. It's a giant crocodile head. I don't think this has ever been seen in a speedrun before. I've certainly never seen it in the marathon.
Please.
Oh no, crocodile.
Don't.
See, I guess that's what you get for not having the cap on it.
Oh, I'm fine.
Crocodiles are evil.
So the problem is, if I was underwater, I was dead. It's that simple.
Yeah, the crocodiles will one-shot you in water.
The thing to ascend above Metal Gear is the alligators in the swamp.
So that didn't go to plan, but nothing ever does. Oh my god, Snake, get out of the water, dude. Alright, so now that T-tour is out of the way, and you'll never see that in like actual runs, obviously. That's a lot of time wasted to pick it up, but you guys wanted it, you donated money to save the children for it, so you shall get your crocodile cap.
It was worth it. Worth it all the way.
Definitely worth it.
You just have to wait till the pain before I equip it. So I'm taking
I'm sorry, go ahead, Raichu.
No, I was just pointing out, I'm taking a really precise line in that little section just gone to avoid claymores. We're going to shoot to distract the dog. The dog isn't so much trouble as the guard who gets his attention taken away from him. Will everyone be quiet for 1 second? Okay, we can talk again. That's just I needed to hear him finish his line, so I knew when I could go through defense. But yeah, so there's a third guard who we attracted away with the area by getting the dog to bark. That's vital that we do that, because otherwise he'd just be in our way. And then I use the box to distract that guy, and I just wait for him to finish speaking and walk away so I can run through the fence. But if you go too early, there's a further guard who'll spot you. He won't actually alert, but he'll be like, hey, I see somebody over there. And you have to stop, re-equip your trank, put the suppressor back on, deal with it. So
HQ, please respond.
it's a pain in the ass. Oh, and that guy's an idiot.
This is HQ.
Oh no, I mean absolutely not. I mean I'm sure he's on top of it.
I've been shot. Better phone on the radio and tell them.
mean, I would be freaking out if I got shot out of nowhere and saw, you know, big guy with a croc cap on charging at me.
Oh my god, Ocelot.
It's really hard boss with low health because you kind of have to tank a couple of shots in order to set up the loop. The way we handle Ocelot is by keeping him focused on us or distracting on other things that allow us to score headshots, because headshots do so much more than body shots essentially.
Okay, I'm gonna have to reset the fight quickly because I'm apparently missed his head. The benefit is my health might be low, but if I die enough times, I think it's like 3 times in a row, the game will just take pity on me and give me some health back.
It's death abuse, guys. It's a setup. So yeah, it is very difficult because Ocelot's like got magnet aim to you. You have to move in a very specific way from left to right to be able to dodge the shots. Normally, the way we set this up is we just tank the shots.
Hold your fire.
But obviously, getting the croc cap gives you low health if you get hit by the crocodile. So normally we'd have full health here because of the way European Extreme works. Normally you don't take damage in areas.
Yeah, because again, because it's game over if discovered. Whatever. The guards can never really do any damage to you.
So we also shoot Ocelot's hat off occasionally if we nice. If we
Alright, there you go.
If we shoot his head during a certain point, like it's only one chance during the fight, you kind of knock his hat off, and he can react in 2 ways. Sometimes he can stand still, or he can move his head around. If he moves his head around, it's really difficult to hit him. So that was nice, dude. It's not an easy fight to do with low health.
Which I never. It's something I didn't plan for because I didn't expect to get attacked by the crocodiles 500 times. Or whatever. Doesn't matter.
Well, I mean that is kind of what MGS3 is about. Expect the unexpected.
Yeah, true.
Because it will happen.
My health's kind of low now, but that's kind of an irrelevance because before the pain I could pick up a life medicine as I load into the fight, so if I need it, and I think I might equip it at the start of the fight just in case, because we shouldn't see too much damage from the pain, but we might, and it's better.
Yeah, the opening bees attack could kill you in 1 hit.
Yeah,
because its tick damage is so high on European Extreme.
This is fine. I'm not worried. Those continues are annoying, but whatever. Whatever. But yeah, so that was Ocelot. He's an idiot. So I will, yeah. So as promised, there's a croc cap.
Oh, he's busted it out.
And I'll actually wear it for this fight as well because I can. So we'll grab our life medicine.
Dude, the pain's not gonna know what's gonna be coming at him.
So as I load into the fight, the first thing I'm gonna do is just throw a smoke at him, and then I'll get the life medicine that I mentioned. So this is most unusual menuing for the pain, but there's
it gives you an aim down the center as well.
It actually really helps. So
it's like benefit of it. It's the aim down the center.
Right.
The pain's super difficult boss because you have to essentially do kind of a glitch where you can score multiple headshots on him while he's recoiling. But his headshot hitbox is infinitesimally small. It's like 1 pixel. It's really difficult to score headshots on him. And if you don't like kill him immediately during the second phase, he'll get an extra B shield phase.
Whatever.
But for all the fights in this game, I found the pain the most difficult to get to grips with, because all the different timings between his B shield phase and scoring headshots on him are really tight, and he's also very difficult to hit.
Yeah, it's like his head. The hitbox for his head, it's not like here to here. It's like here to here. It's ridiculous, and it's also like
it's definitely an anomaly for sure.
And there also is a hitbox right on the very top of his head, but unless you like throw an actual frag grenade at him, that's not gonna. I need the box for this area, so sorry, the crack up has to come out. but it'll be back in a moment.
No,
I was about to
that's
say,
not-
like, as you were going into the river, you gotta embrace your inner alligator, dude.
Oh, yeah,
if you want to
no.
make it past those guards.
I'll wear it through the red. And actually, I kind of think it does help you camouflage yourself a little bit in that river. I think, but I'm not gonna test that theory right now. But it felt like it did yesterday, at least.
Would anyone like to hear a crocodile joke?
Why does the camera not work? I'll look at that in a second. Oh god, here we go. Go for it.
So you literally have become a crocodile at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I am one with the crocodiles.
They're never gonna notice.
No, I don't think so.
This is
Like,
kind
wait.
of like...
It's like, wait a minute, why does that crocodile have boots and a gun and a headband?
He's a hardcore crocodile. What can I say?
Like, wait, are crocodiles supposed to do that?
I think so. I don't see anything wrong with any of this. Also, one downside to playing on I like MGS 3 as opposed to I like MGS 1, or this is my first time, is my stamina will drain a little faster than normal. But once we beat the fear, or no, before we fear, once we leave the lab, we'll be putting our animals camo on, and that just negates any need to feed Snake whatsoever. So we will feed Snake exactly 0 times in this run. So get used to hearing Snake's stomach grumble, because that'll happen a lot.
Yeah, so like one thing you'll notice, like what Raichu did there at the docks is, in addition to tricking the first guard closest to him, is that he detonated a set of barrels, which not only damages the end, which the damage taken here will carry over to when he fights him later in the run, as well as the barrel explosion itself relative to a guard nearby will not count as a kill against you, because the barrel itself will count like as an environmental kill. So as long as you don't hit the guard doing it, game doesn't really know any better. Oh yeah, here's that lovely rolling tech again. Just, you know, they see a moving box, bump into them, roll past them. I mean, they only bring the best guards in for the warehouse for stuff like this, don't you think, Apache?
Yeah, it's a cool trick and you know, good manipulation, but the timing of it is so tight. It's very easy to mess up your rolls away from the guards, and a few things can happen. What's supposed to happen is the guard will be hit by the roll, and the guard above will turn and face the wall as if he's looking directly at the guard. And what can sometimes happen is the guard looks straight towards the stairs. If that happens, you will get seen. You'll get continue.
There's
I would probably have to say, like, the warehouse going there and back is probably one of the hardest rooms to do. Wouldn't you think so? I mean, because like it's so like it's like there's a lot of moving pieces. You got to get your rolls right. Your movement's got to be on point, and you know, even messing up the first roll is so easy to do. You know, so like really nothing's taken for granted.
That was a bit of a mess because my stamina is a bit lower than it should be. So if your stamina drops below 2 bars, you're gonna get shaky hands and all sorts. So I had to just fire far too many shots back.
I think that Croc is getting a little bit hangry right now.
Yeah. So unfortunately, when I get into the lab, I'm gonna have to take the cap off because I did check yesterday out of curiosity, and guards get very angry when you're dressed as a scientist wearing a Croc cap.
But I mean, it could have been for science. How could they know the difference?
It's Halloween.
What are you doing in that crocodile cap? Science?
Hey, dude,
It's like, dude, it's like I'm Dr. Snake, man. You know, I'm testing out boxes and Croc caps. I mean, what's strange about it?
Yeah, just saw my Halloween costume, honestly. But
Yeah.
so I have to.
It's just MGS3 stuff. You got to give us some slack.
So I have to use, and also even if they did let me wear the Croc cap, I need the box when I leave Brannon's little hole.
It's the enemy.
Oh god, it's the enemy. Somebody send help. Send the cavalry.
All right, so like what he just did there with the scientist as well as the guard, you know, you can bump into them and past them and out of the room without really drawing too much suspicion, but it's especially important to do it for scientists because while the guards may be oblivious to the fact that you're not a real scientist, but the other scientists can tell you you apart from the others.
Yeah,
except for when they're either facing from your from behind you, or if you get close enough to them before they notice you, like as they're squinting, and you can actually manipulate that to your advantage by just quickly bumping into them, which will kind of like reset them, giving you a chance to just slip by without, you know, too much trouble.
Also, here's a glitch. We get very few of those in this game, but here's one.
Yes, this is it. We've got this.
Oh no!
On European Extreme, this is it. We've got this glitch, and it's really hard to perform. It's the only instance of the out of bounds working, like, to our benefit.
Yeah, like you can out of bounds anywhere there's a vent, as long as it doesn't force you into first person. Like when I roll into this grass, I'll be forced into first person, so I can't glitch into this vent. But the only other place you can do it, I'm aware of, is the sewers, and it's pointless. Like, it doesn't do anything. You just kind of get stuck at the wall.
So now, like, you'll see Raichu, like he talked about earlier, he's equipping the animals camo, which for those that may not be as familiar with the different camouflages in the game, the animals camo is awarded to you when you beat Ocelot non-lethally, just you know, via, you know, MK2, stun damage, whatever. But as long as you beat them non-lethally, you do get the camo in the cave after the fight is over. And what the animals camo does here is that regardless of your stamina bar, your aim is not affected, so you'll always have steady aim no matter what, which is very, very useful to have throughout this run.
Yeah, I mean, if we didn't have it, we'd have to eat, right? Like, it'd be really, really
Yeah, it's a lot of extra menuing you have to do, plus you have to go out of your way. Oops.
Oh no. I died.
Sorry to interrupt you, but your camera appears to have decided to stop working.
Yeah, I'll fix it when I get to the ladder in like 5 minutes-ish. That's alright. It's because I...
Just so you're aware.
Oh yeah, no, I saw. I'm sorry, but I will fix it as soon as I can. It's just I don't want to waste time by stopping to fix it. But yeah, there's the fear. If you blinked, you missed him.
I missed him.
Yeah, I almost did too. So what we did there is we kind of exploited how the fear works. So we pretended to be dead with our fake death pill, laid down at the trap, made him come over and get all nervous about us. We woke up from our fake death, however that works. We threw a stun, and then we triggered the trap, which caused him to fall asleep. So when the fear is stunned with a grenade, all lethal damage registers as, I need the box, non-lethal, which is very nice. It's very handy, but it's also kind of turns the fight into a bit of a joke.
So we missed out on Warehouse 2 there. Warehouse 2's a room that you can lose a ton of time on. There's 4 guards. What Raichu did there was instant box headshot. So to set it up correctly, you have to first use the box to distract the guard on the second floor to start walking towards you. Then you can jump off and land on top of the second guard. The sound of you landing on the second guard brings the third guard to start walking towards you, which sets up the box headshot. Once the third guard sees you in the box, he lowers his head down to look at you, and then when you leave the box, you can instantly score a headshot in without going into first person. And then the fourth guard, he has to roll through him specifically to be able to shut the sliding door behind him after his roll. So it's a really, really tricky room that's very difficult to do, but it does save a ton of time if you do it correctly.
So, like, one of the issues I think with this game is stuff happens so quickly you don't always get to explain it. Like, bosses are over in an instant, rooms are finished. I mean, a lot went on here, but we were explaining the room prior. But basically, like, the TLDR of that last room, I just think that's just boom, honestly. One shot to cause a guard to get scared, because I don't think I mentioned. But before any of that, really important. Everyone say hi to the end. He's wishing us a good night. I do need the box quickly, but I'll put the crop back there. I'll put the crop cap back on before I get to it.
This is a room that can cost you your whole run quite easily. If you get shot here, you get transported back to the lab. Your run's over, basically. He doesn't kill you. He sends you somewhere else, and it's really, really far back. and because our stamina is so low, it only takes one hit to do that.
So the end.
Yeah, because I think like each shot with the Mosin Nagant is like roughly a little over half your stamina per hit. So I think it's like 3 hits you're done. Which in this case, if you get hits once, it's over. But what he's going to be trying to do coming up here is like the whole reason for the smoke is just giving you an opening misdirect as well as opening a blind spot for you to pass through the beginning zone. Because right now the end hasn't moved from where he started. He still thinks you're over there, despite the whole, crock cap, the smoke, the whole spectacle. And what he's going to do now is hold the smoke up, which is going to silence your footsteps, which you used earlier, starting with a Sig Spray, while sticking him up before he reacts to you. And then as he's going down, he's going to Sig Spray another time with a first stun. And it's important to hit the stun at him so it resets his hitbox, because, more than 3 hits will reset him. And you're trying to loop him to not exceed that hitbox, because each Sig Spray gives 2 hits, while the grenade just, resets him. So now after he throws 2 stuns, he's going to throw a smoke. Again, just resetting his hitbox. Now at this point, he's going to try to break left. And then as soon as he coughs, he's going to Sig Spray right at the exit here, followed by a couple punches. And before I can even finish my sentence, the fight's already over.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, you try to explain stuff in this game, but it's over so fast, you just can't.
Yep, that was a relatively good end fight.
So that's, like Joe was saying, you can't just throw a grenade to damage him, it has to hit him. Because hitting him just like resets his AI and his hitbox so that we can subsequently go for another 2 hits, because otherwise it will be 2 Sig Sprays and he falls over and he runs away. He's invincible.
Yeah, and like Apache was saying, like, having that loop break any part of the the sequence you're doing it is a really significant time loss, if not just a headache of trying to go, look for him, especially if he leaves the zone. But before I say anything more, Apache, this has got to be the best part of the run right here. Climbing the world's tallest ladder. And in fact, it's so remarkable, I have it on the highest authority that after you're done climbing this ladder, you come out a different person on the other end of it.
Go for a journey on this hill ladder. This is a good time if the host wants to jump in with anything, because we are going to be holding up for 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even holding up. I just have my analog propped up on an object.
This here is the peak of gameplay right now. We're going to hold up for 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Are you sure you can do that, guys?
I don't know.
I don't want to talk.
Good practice.
I've been practicing,
Good. You have to practice every single part of your speedrun needs practice. I obviously don't want to talk too much to take away from this incredible moment, because everyone's going to be singing along in chat, I don't doubt. But just to remind people that coming up after Metal Gear Solid 3, we're going to be having Catherine Full Body. Now, I don't want to focus too much on what's coming up. We want to focus on now. But just quickly to say that it's going to be a one-player, it's going to be like a 1P2C thing, where there's multiple characters, and you can choose which 2 characters are going to be used by the player in that run. So if you're interested to see 2 particular characters for that run out, make sure to get your donations towards that. So yeah, I always forget, just when you kind of like, it's that whole thing when they say like a watched kettle never boils, or like a watched phone never rings. How long 2.5 minutes feels when you're just holding one button.
It's actually really nice for the run though, because it gives us time to like just take it easy for a minute, because up till now the run has been very like forward focused and constantly go. Always something around the corner that could just totally destroy your run, and you come and it's right after a boss that could like completely destroy your run. So it's a nice break. I wish it didn't exist, because it was just 2.5 minutes of downtime, but then it's almost like it teases us, because we get 2.5 minutes of quiet and then arguably the hardest part of the run.
So, like, I guess what he's going to do here now is, like, as you saw, he started off leading off with the box, because, again, there's a lot of, hills and valleys here, and the box is excellent for an area like this because of the, movement optimization advantage you get out of it. But what he did there is he led off with a 6 spray on the first guard, since they're scripted to turn as you get close, and he just rolled pretty much around the perimeter there, because the guard patrol pattern there is very unfriendly when it comes to trying to go there, low and slow. but carefully with some, carefully timed stick sprays and good execution of rolls. The rolls don't really give off any sound, pending that you don't do any steps in between, which is very useful to do there.
My friend, can you go
But
to sleep?
yeah, that beginning mountain area is very, very reset heavy, let me tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I've lost more runs than I care to count to mountains, you know. Especially the last area, I think that's the worst. And I'll be completely quiet, but here's an example of the fantastic AI that this game has to offer.
It's like, wait, there's a box in the mountains? I gotta check it out. Oh, he's already gone.
You know that guard was put on the rubbish job. They were like, yeah, just guard that rock, right? Yeah, guard it, you know that one employee. You know the one. Yeah, you guard the rock, Jim.
You know, honestly, like, I can almost get behind being confused about a box in the mountains. But I love when they see it in the warehouse and there's like a box here, like in the warehouse. No. So
I mean, the KGP only recruits the best in this outfit. I'm telling you. I mean, you know, footsteps, boxes, explosions, misdirect shots. Yeah, they're on top of it, right, Apache?
Yeah, exceptionally. This room, Mountain 3, is so unbelievably precise it's unfair, but recently we found that the Japanese version is slightly faster, and in Japanese, because the radio call ends sooner, it's even harder. So, really well done there. We use a caution strat to make all the different guards react. We make 3 different guards react in different ways that allows us to slip past. As we're going around the mountainside in the box, there's like essentially, if you go too much, even slightly to the left by 1 frame, you get seen. And yeah, it's a difficult room to do well.
I like the mountains in general, it's just really hard. So, but it's great because we get to go from the really hard room to arguably the hardest boss.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I think it is the hardest boss. The Fury can kill you in 1 hit. He can land in multiple different places, which makes the fight vary in difficulty. He reacts super fast to you on European Extreme compared to other difficulties, so he will just see you and start firing the flamethrower immediately. He's completely invincible while he's firing the flamethrower. He's a nightmare. He's really big nightmare. We have to hit him 8 times with the Mosin Nagant. We can only hit him 3 times at a maximum before he'll get iframes, and then we have to react to what he does.
So ideally I'll get him to go left, or I guess right. It's left or right. Snake's left, and we can loop him if I can get down the ladder. If he goes right, it's a little more difficult, but still manageable. But if he goes right, my main goal is just not to die. So he's gone left, which is good.
So I guess, Apache, you kind of want to explain what's going on here, since, yeah, this is a pretty scary moment.
Missed a shot.
You don't want that to happen. You don't want him to go off the edge, because he will come back up and he can land in a crazy amount of different positions. The whole time you want to engage him as safely as possible, because as you see, one hit is death. Even if you were in the box, which does work as some amount of fire protection when you're at higher healths, but because you won't catch fire for some reason if you get hit while you're in the box. But this is really like truly the hardest boss in the run. Joe uses the thermal goggles to find him.
Yeah, because he doesn't stand out at all.
So what I shouldn't have done on my first attempt is try the faster but much harder loop, where I don't wait for him to... So like the loop as we used to do it was we'd bait the fire, which is basically what you saw the second time. We'd bait his fire, we'd hide in the meantime, and then we'd 3 shots, get in our box, wait for him to just about fly away, hit him 2 more times. He'll either try and attack me again, or he'll try to fly away, and we react accordingly. But so it's like 3 hits, 2 hits, 3. What the? Okay, whatever, that's fine. But what I tried to do was a small optimization that I came up with a couple of weeks ago, where you can just hit him 3 times immediately. It's just the window is super tight, and you'll probably die if you're not careful. I missed the shot, which screwed up the whole thing, and whatever.
That's kind of where we're at as well with the run. Is you have to go for that like fast fury. For like best times, we kind of can't afford to not do it, so we just have to take the risk on a run and go for it. And it's all about that first shot. Really, is like beating the Fury to firing his flamethrower and getting the first shot on him is really difficult.
Oh yeah, this is just a more incredible display of box tech, and also just showing how great these guards are.
Because I have time to burn and I can afford to continue, I'm gonna try and do this ridiculous strat for Raikov. So I'm gonna be quiet.
It's so worth seeing once. It's worth a try.
What?
Whatever. I love what he does.
So close. You're so close.
Oh, really close.
We'll try once more. Once more.
It's
because I want to get it.
It's mainly for a multi-segment. This when you have unlimited tries at the segment.
What?
But it's just a complete showing the AI to be a complete farce. Going to use gunshots to essentially manipulate Raikov where we need him to go.
You win, Raikov. Whatever.
It's close though. It's considering that that's a strat that you would do in multi-segment and you would attempt, all day in order to get. That's pretty close to getting it in 2 tries.
Oh, a box. Could be handy. So instead, I'm gonna bait Raikov to come. So I'm gonna shoot him with a trank gun, please. And he couldn't understand a cardboard box and just fell over. It was just too much for him.
I mean, I probably would faint too if I just saw a box out of nowhere.
Honestly, I saw a box with legs, I might faint also.
I mean, even worse, like when you lift the box up, you just discover that it's a guy with a crop cap on. Then what do you do?
I wonder can I get away with that with Raikov? I didn't try that. Is it worth trying? It is.
I think.
Yeah, because
now we have another one to try out.
Yeah, because I mean, if I get a container, it's like 10 seconds, and I've had a bunch of containers of it. Oh, I won't even let you wear it.
No, I won't let you put it on. Yeah.
Whatever.
They thought of everything.
Yeah.
They thought of everything.
A Kojima guy, and I probably wouldn't have tried that silly multi-segment strat if I hadn't already got like a lot of containers.
It's you, Major Rycroc. Please go right on in.
I mean, actually, now I think about it, besides those like silly containers at Ocelot, that wouldn't have happened, other than being really low on health, and the Fury. I only had I guess the Fury was one continue. I'm not gonna count those ones at Ocelot because they were silly. Anyway.
They were R&D manips.
And again, if there's any donations, now is like a really good time because it's just a lot of cutscenes and then an unskippable.
Yeah, and then I guess perhaps this can probably give you a good chance to try to address the webcam woes.
Yeah, I figured out what's wrong and I'll fix it after I finish mashing these cutscenes that I can't skip.
But yeah, like Raichu said, this is a good time for any messages or donations or anything he'd like to chime in.
And I'm just gonna mute the game audio because some people don't like listening to the torture. I'm one of those people, so I'll put it back on. It's over.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll take this time then. Just to remind you guys that every day here during the Corona Relief, we're going to be having a crowd control run at towards the end of the day. Every single day, as I said, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yesterday we had The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Today we're going to be having Super Mario Bros. 3. Every donation that you make, you can gain, you can basically get coins in return that you can then use during the crowd control run to really push and test and stretch the runner to the limits of their ability. So a nice bit of fun that you can do to kind of get a bit more interactivity going on with your donations. So that's going to be happening a little bit later on the schedule. Make sure to check the schedule to know when that's happening. And a reminder as well that if you pop to ESA's Twitter page, you'll see that Upper Room Games are actually going to be giving away 5 keys for their game Wavy the Rocket. Reminder that to those of you who may not know, Wavy the Rocket is if you beat a specific time that Upper Room Games have set on speedrun.com, Upper Room Games will meet that by giving a $10 donation to the cause as well. So go to the Twitter account, give it a cheeky retweet. You have a chance then to win the game for free and then be good at it and then maybe some more donations will come through. There we go.
I gotta say, Raichu, that's a fancy looking keyboard you got there.
Thank you.
It's multicolored. Multicolored makes you go faster.
Oh, that was too early.
Oh, but this is the best part of the run, though. I mean, you thought the ladder was entertaining.
Yeah, I figured out what happened, but my phone died. So whatever. It might die again though, because I think my charger's not for it.
During this unskippable cutscene, you can actually hold the menus in order to take no damage, and that's if you're playing casually and you're going for Foxhound, you have to have less. You can't have so many life bars of damage taken off you, so it's a way to reduce them.
Yeah, I think how many life bars is it? It's like 5 or something like that.
I want to say it's 5, yeah.
It's particularly strict. Like they're not playing around with. Oh, I should have left the transmitter. No, I shouldn't have.
No, never.
So we're gonna fake our death again. We got that pill from the boss, because of course the boss is like basically she wants us to escape. So we'll trick. This is Johnny. You might recognize Johnny if you're. God damn it, Johnny. So that didn't work out how like I'd hoped. I was hoping to like make him fly all the way like over there towards the door, but we need to knock Johnny out. Not because he'll see us, okay, but because we need his stuff. Johnny is really oblivious. Like you can punch Johnny in the head and he'll just carry on as normal. There's nothing happen. He's very strange.
I think he just wanted to put him in the cell just to kind of give him a taste of his own medicine, if you ask me.
Yeah, that was it. But Johnny is actually like, it's weird. Johnny's like the enemy is really nice to you. Like he'll give you gifts. So if you feed Johnny 3 times, he'll give you your cigar gas spray that we picked up to use on the end. Obviously that has no relevance to the speedrun. We don't need it or want it.
Yeah, you get a hidden cutscene where you see the Sorrow as well in the cell, and he shows you the codec that'll let you out, which is 14475.
So it's, and I guess
so. Like one thing you noticed in the first room is that like as he threw the noodles, since again part of the reason for knocking Johnny out as much as we love him is to acquire the noodles. So he throws it as a misdirect to get a guard's attention away from him. And then using the grenade while holding it to silence his footsteps again, which is using it again right here to sneak past these 2 guards, and then he's throwing a smoke at our good old pupper friend over there. Not for memes, but just kind of disrupt their sense of smell, since they will spot you if you try to go by them, without the smokes. And just like that, before I can even again finish my sentence, we're already out of Groznygrad. Because I'll tell you, playing this casually on Extreme and European Extreme, trying to get out of Groznygrad was so difficult. Because again, you don't really have much to work with.
I still don't know how you do it, like without using the speedrun strats. Like I don't know how to get out of there. That whole trick where we throw the food and distract the guard on the roof, and then none of the other guards look at you for some reason. Like, if we didn't have that, I'm not sure what I'd do.
It may have looked like he, broke his leg, but, we're Big Boss, we just kind of walk it off, quit the cigar, hold our smokes, just be like, man, this is nothing.
Yeah, I mean, like...
we just keep running like nothing happened.
Whatever, dude, I have another leg. Like, who cares?
It's a flesh wound.
Yeah, I have 2 legs. If I break one, I'll just use the other, like, who cares?
Because we're trying to lower our health as much as possible, because in the next boss we're gonna have to kill ourselves as quickly as possible to leave it quickly. During the fight with the Sorrow, you walk down an endless river. You see all the souls of the people you've killed over the course of the run. If you're like me and you kill a lot of people in your run, you see a lot. If you're like Raichu and you don't kill anyone, you only see the bosses. Even though we defeated them non-lethally, they'll still show up in the river. We're not gonna get to see that today.
Yeah, so like the bosses show up because they killed themselves, not because we killed them. So they always show up, but no one else will, because we didn't touch anyone. So the quickest way to kill yourself is a grenade. It is 1 second faster than drowning yourself, as long as your menus are good. If you have bad menus, it's slower. So if you plan to pick up this game after watching me do it, and I empower you to do so, do not use the grenade. Just drown yourself. is your menus will probably be pretty bad to start with, just like mine used to be, and you're just gonna waste time. Granted, killing yourself with the grenade looks cooler, if you ask me.
Yeah, the menus are kind of weird in this game as well. You can't go as fast as you want to. Like we know the inputs for every menu, but if you try and do them too quickly, the game will just like prevent you from doing it.
It's like there's like input lag or something in the
Yeah.
But it only applies to like the backpack, the L and R, the left L2 and R2 menus. They're as fast as you want them to be. I don't think they're as fast as you can press the buttons. But the backpack menus and the cure menus are really bad. But we live with it. It's not too bad on PS2. It seems to be like a HDC thing, but whatever. But here is literally the longest black screen in the game while we load. Way too many cutscenes.
Yeah, so
but it wouldn't be MGS without its good fair share of codecs and cutscenes. But I guess like Raichu was saying, like the whole reason for either using the drowning strat or in this case the grenade strat is that you could go all the way to the very end of the sorrow segment there and hit the skull at the end and then pop the revival pill if you realize that you could use the revival pill there. But since we don't have to really do a whole lot there, just you're just realizing, oh hey, it's just a dream segment. I don't have to really face the sorrow or his endless wave of souls or just the scripted bosses that show up there. You could just have Snake pretty much end it all there and then just pop the revival pill and just essentially skip a boss fight, or just a segment.
And it's kind of cute
but now
because on the topic of sorrow, there's not a whole lot really going on right now. It's just we're heading back to blow up the Shagahud, no big deal. If you get to the end and the sorrow kills you, and you press continue because you think, oh, I failed, I have to start again, he'll change his voice lines to like, what are you doing back here? Wake up.
Crocap,
like
Raichu.
No, not right now.
No, you've not got it out of your backpack.
Ah, damn it. Alright, I'll do it at bike chase, I guess, because I can't use it.
Definitely not in this room.
No, I can't do it here, unfortunately.
So I guess like just kind of explaining like what's going on here, because again, we're moving quickly here, faster than we can talk about it. But so like what he did at the beginning was he equipped the box, and then following a specific movement against that tank, it's going to draw the guard's attention not around and to the right, but around and to the left, which is opposite of where he was. Which is part of a setup to then trank another guard, which again, using our highly advanced cardboard box technology we have in the guard's oblivious awareness to it, is that as the guard's going around to investigate, he goes, further into the box after tranking the guard, since the guard walking up to the one that just passed out is completely clueless as to the fact, oh yeah, it's just a box. We don't really care, but we got to check out this guard, which, while now in the Shagahud hangar, he did a misdirect against one of the containers, the gas tanks, so that all the guards in the room pretty much run in a frenzy while the engineers kind of just throughout the hangar just kind of like, you know what, we got big gas tanks, we got a Shagahud, we have a moving box. I mean, there's nothing to see here. They just kind of move about their shift, just nothing wrong at all, while a guy's just planning a C3. But it's important to use the box because while the guards are running around, the engineers, while with the box equipped, will just ignore you. But if you're not in the box or in a maintenance disguise, if you actually went and got one, then they'll just detect you immediately.
So like the scientists and the engineer guys are basically just reskin scientists, and they might be intelligent, but they're not. But this is Volgan.
But
I am very much aware I'm killing Volgan, and I've messed up a little bit. It's fine, I should finish him here. So we're gonna kill Volgan because it doesn't count as a kill. He is one of two bosses that you can kill and not have it count, that being Volgan and Ocelot. We don't kill Ocelot because we want his camouflage, the animal's camouflage. I guess you could play it. I've messed up, whatever. A little bit sloppy,
ooh.
but I managed.
Oh, so close. Oh, good recovery there. So, like Raichu was saying, the advantage to using lethal strats on Vulcan here is that not only is it faster, but honestly, I think it makes it easier to deal with them because you're exploiting his weakness of him being vulnerable to CQC, pending that he doesn't have his protection, like electrical field, whatever you call it, surrounding him. Because if you do try to grab him while he's electrified, it will shock you. I know, shocking, right? But oh yeah, also crop cap tech again. But again, so like what he's doing is like he's using CQC to set him up, make him defenseless while shooting the SBD repeatedly, which does have a hitbox cap of I think it's like 5 or 6 shots. I don't quite remember exactly, but the whole idea is. I'm sorry, go ahead, Raichu.
I was gonna say I think it's like 5 shots before he. So when Vulcan kind of like crosses his arms and punches over, he can't be damaged anymore. He's invincible. So you wanna pace out your shots to not shoot him too much, because if you waste too many shots, which I did, you'll just run out of ammo. Like you've got only 30 bullets and you need more or less all of them. I think you've got 2 or 3 to spare max before you run out, and that's it.
Yeah, because like you'll notice that like as he's using that awareness of the hitbox cooldown for Vulcan, is that especially in the second phase when he uses more of his abilities, is that after he starts off with his his widespread bullet attack, is that there's a brief moment where he's actually wide open, which you got to carefully time the shot, because if you fire too early, he'll just block it, following up with the attack of his own, which is what you don't want. But if you shoot too late, he'll also, again, likely block the shot. So there's probably like a second or so window of after he does his widespread attack, followed up with, a set of shots of your own, hit the hitbox limit, and then as soon as he tries to attack again, follow up with another set of shots, which if you time them properly and you manage your ammo, you can effectively end it with the SBD, since it does the most damage per shot, given our current state of inventory for weapons. But it is a fast way to do it. And then on another just fun fact, that if you do that fight non-lethally, because again, you could use the lethal strat and won't have it count against you, but the thing that you won't receive, like you would for the other bosses for the Cobra unit and Vulcan as well, is that you get their camouflage item that drops, which Vulcan will drop the Cold War camo, which is useful for this bike escape, for example. But of course, in a speed run, if you want to be optimal and you don't use it, you just take your chances. But what the Cold War camo does is that enemies will not shoot you while you're facing them, since you have the Soviet emblem on the front with the US flag on the back, so they'll always shoot you at your back.
Yeah, and I know when I learned it, like I use Cold War, I'm unashamed. Like the bike chase is hard. Like.
Yeah, so if you're doing it non-lethally, it's very easy to die, because you have to use these stun grenades in specific spots to be able to take out the guards. I do lethal bike chase because it's much easier.
And it can be faster too, so hopefully... Oh, okay, I got all of them. So there's... In that little section there, if I missed anyone, Eva just sits still and waits for them to come around after me, and I have to... She will not move until certain people are either dead or unconscious. It's just as simple as that. I'm going to switch to card 22.
Yeah, so it's auto-scroller with a few rules to make it faster. Then it can slow down big time. If you don't get the guards fast enough, you're gonna lose a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean that last upwards of like 40 seconds. Eva just sat still. She refused.
And then one thing to note that it's especially important to get that guard at the very end of that section with the RPG, because if you don't have a life med equipped and he gets a round off, you're pretty much dead.
It's not just that, but for a speedrun, you lose about 20 seconds just because of the lag it generates from being hit by the RPG. So even if you don't die, you're going to lose a ton of time just for getting hit by it.
There's nothing more intimidating, being chased by the Shagahad than trying to chase a guy with a crack cap on. I gotta give these guys credit because, not only are they trying to go up against Snake, but he's got the crack cap on. It takes a lot of guts.
There's the humanity hour.
The one thing I will say about the croc cap, I don't think it quite makes it worth going to pick up, but when you're in first person view, you can see the exact center of your screen, which makes aiming with the guns way easier, especially with the RPG. I don't think it quite makes it worth, the minute time lost to go and pick it up, but it's something if you do get it.
Croc cap any % inbound.
No, unfortunately, it's not an item that carries over to New Game Plus either, so...
I know, that is the biggest shame of it. That is the biggest shame.
I really wish it was a New Game Plus item.
I mean, I guess an
yeah,
argument
they're
could be made for, like, if you're new, you're learning, might help, I guess.
Because New Game Plus items that carry over besides uniforms and camouflage face paint that you acquire, including the Cobra uniforms, which is really helpful for New Game Plus runs, but there's also the Patriot, which you acquire just for beating the game. There's also the Stealth Camouflage, as well as the Infinity face paint special items, which you can acquire through either earning the Foxhound or just acquiring through whatever minimum acquirements you need. But unfortunately for those two items in particular, they're not allowed for the speedrun since they will count as special items in the scorecard. But yeah, so we're just kind of enjoying Vulcan repeating himself with, saying we're wasting our ammo, we didn't feel a thing, and I don't know. I mean, I think Vulcan just loves hearing himself talk, don't you think, Apache?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This section is actually so important, but if you don't manage to get too much damage on the Shagohod, there is a loop for the Shagohod that's absolutely ridiculously hard to pull off. Shout out to VPP, who's in the chat at the moment. He actually taught me how to do the Shagohod loop recently, and I feel like there was a knowledge gap between the older runners and like me, Raichu, Major Zero, guys who are, I suppose, newer to MGS3 than those guys. I think that's fair to say. We didn't know about this show. We weren't doing this Shagohod loop, and there's essentially like one frame that you hit it on, and you can expose the back of it, and you can park behind the back the entire time. Very, very tricky strat to do.
Sorry, I had something to correct there. I wasn't wearing the croc cap.
Oh no. Restart the run.
Do we have a very quick moment for a couple of donations?
Absolutely.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, well, we got a $5 donation from Tiny Tim. Just says, hey all, had to donate for Raichu in the amazing MGS3 run. Shout out to my good friend Apache and Joseph Joestar for the excellent commentary. Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
And then Grinning Ghetto. There's a little bit of Irish here. I'm not sure how to pronounce it exactly. You can correct me here, Raichu. A $20 donation from Grinning Ghetto saying, hi Raichu, always love your runs. Good luck and T Gutapa for release. Is that correct?
Could be.
Could be.
I don't speak much Irish, I'll be honest. I'm not.
I believe that means go fast.
I'm not. I learned it in school and I forgot every bit of it. Yeah, so this is the Shagohod. He's not fun. But effectively what our main goal here is to just cause as much damage to him in as fast a time as we can. To stop him moving, we shoot his tread, like literally how it's working. And then there is the loop, which I think I've lost ages ago. But if you don't get him in that little loop, you're just kind of depending on Eva a little bit to behave and go behind them as quick as she can. Because the only damage we can do is from behind. And he gets these weird iframes on his treads, so that's decent. Good. And when his back is electrified like that, we can't hit him again, so we just have to wait for that to go away. This fight can like easily kill your run at high level. I know it's killed some of mine.
Yeah, because there's just minutes to lose on it. Like there's just you have to get it right, and you have such a small chance to do it at the start. Essentially, that was really nice. You got like the max damage last shot, where you have just the amount of one RPG to hit it. So at the start of the Vulcan 2, we have a little setup where we shoot the tread. But essentially, we don't move the aim at all. We wait for the Shagohod to drive and then shoot the rocket forward, and it hits the tread. It's 4 headshots with the Mosin gun in order to kill Vulcan. If you get body shots, you'll start losing time. But so we have to be really careful when we're aiming for his head. So you see him be really patient with this shot.
I was a little too patient with the first one. But
happens.
So one thing that was lucky before I say anything else is like, if you miss that first hit on Volgan, he can do one of two things. He'll either go straight for draw his attention straight to you, or he'll pay a lot of attention to Eva, which is really annoying. Fortunately, he decided that I was more important and came straight for me, so I was able to get him back into the loop. But that fight sucks.
Yeah, because like there's a lot of things going on between trying to manage the damage you're doing, trying to get as many double hits, if not a loop, if at all possible, and then also there's a little bit of randomness just with Eva's driving in particular. You know, because there's moments when you get all the hits you need, but then Eva just decides, you know what, I'm going to go right instead of left, and then takes you in a not so good pattern to try to get that extra hit.
I have to say my favorite is when she drives in the same direction he's spinning. That's my favorite.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I guess since we're kind of back in the bike escape, unless if you know, Patchy or Raichu have anything to add with this section, but if there is any other donations, this would be another good time since we're just kind of on, you know, for another interesting motorcycle ride.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I can just remind people why they're here, if they're just joining us, why we're here and what we're doing. This is ESA Corona Relief, supporting Save the Children's Coronavirus Emergency Appeal. All of the donations that are being collected are going directly to Save the Children and their work globally to protect, look out for, and support you know, vulnerable children in 100 countries around the globe. So obviously it's a very, very important cause, and every single donation that you have given now and will do for the rest of the event is greatly appreciated. So thank you so much. Yeah, obviously you're watching Metal Gear Solid 3 by Raichu. We're about coming up to maybe the halfway point of the entire event. We've got a load more great games coming up, so stick around and enjoy some speedrun.
I thought you were going to say halfway point to the run. I was like, oh, we're way past that.
Yeah, I was probably going to say, like, there's probably, you know, given what's happened, probably like another, maybe like 10-ish minutes, assuming there's,
of gameplay,
you know,
yeah,
yeah,
10,
plus, I mean, plus the credits, which is like another, like, what, 8, which, of course, I don't know if we're gonna exactly, you know, wait for that exactly, but, yeah, so that this section is probably, and I'm not trying to be sarcastic, but, like, this is probably the most fun section of this bike escape because, you know, you got these guys flying around, it's hard enough to hit them as it is, and, of course, you got the guy in the middle that's on these, you know, scientifically accurate hovercraft that they had back then, of course.
Yeah, they
I mean,
definitely had
why
these
not?
in 1964.
Did Joe just say this part's fun?
Yeah,
Of course they did. I mean, isn't it fun, Apache?
No.
I mean,
No.
you know, the best part about it is when they fly over your head and you can't hit them.
Yeah, and it drops the game to about 5 frames per second when the middle platform guard will park above you, and he'll just unload into you with his automatic weapon and take all your health. So it's like, well, I've got a really good run up to this point, and the game's like, no. The other fun thing, as Joe said, that can happen is when you knock a platform guard off and he crashes into the ground, it can sometimes set fire to Snake, and if you get caught on fire, it's one of the highest DPS, you know, it's one of the highest damaging things in the game, and you can obviously go into the menu, put a camo on to get rid of it, but this fight can just take your run away.
Yeah, I mean,
isn't that fun?
Oh yeah, that's my favorite. Like, when did I get my first Fox Hunter? Let me check real quick. I think it was April. No, that's not April. I want to say, like, just after Christmas time in January, I think. Was it before?
Seems right.
Was it before GDQ or after? No, it was before GDQ, so maybe November or December. But I had a couple of runs well before that were like on pace for Fox Sound, and that last screen killed it. Took it away.
You just get like, sometimes you get the one where he just parks above you and lights you up. It can take like 2 bars of health easily. When he's parked above you, when the center platform guard parks above you, there's no real way to sort of take him out, and even looking at him slows your game down, which loses you even more time. There's just nothing you can do about it until you get to the log. Once Eva calls out that she can see the log, the platform guard will drop back, which makes it impossible to hit. But it's...
Raichu, I think that stun made you through took out your webcam with it.
The webcam was flashed. So when you get to this screen here, the last screen of the bike chase, you do kind of breathe a sigh a sigh of relief because it's much easier than the other ones. I feel like the guards are a lot easier to hit during this section.
Yeah, and the fun part about this section is, yeah, no, that was very much intentional. I was, Mrs. Raichu needed something. Yeah, I just had to, Mrs. Raichu needed me and I didn't want to be rude. But yeah, so this part of the bike chase is pretty easy compared, like this screen, like you saw, I barely did anything and I survived because those guys on the bikes are very bad aiming. But consequently those dudes in other platforms are just really dicks. That's all I can say. I probably shouldn't swear, but that's what they are.
Guys, I forgot to hold on tight for that jump.
Ah, oh, damn it, Joe! No wonder you've fallen. We've lost Joe.
Man, I had one job. Couldn't do it.
Okay, so this is like the very last bit of the run. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna quickly feed Eva. So we used to feed Eva later, but it's actually faster to do it here.
Have some more.
And I figured that out by accident. Of course I did. And then we have to cure. We don't have to cure Snake's wounds because they're immaterial, but we do have to cure Eva's. It will not let us leave that until we do. So, and
let's see. Are you actually gonna keep the crack cap on for this section for the memes, right, too?
Oh yeah, and the box.
Excellent.
I don't need the box. I don't need the box anymore. We could literally throw the box away. It would make no difference to me at this point. And as a matter of fact, I think if you get seen in the box here, it's just, that's it. Done. Game over. The guards aren't that... So the funny thing, because this is very quiet, we're just escorting Eva. We can just, like, make fun of the AI. Like, obviously a box in the mountains, you know, that's suspicious, but tolerable enough. It warrants investigation, but they're not gonna get too upset about it. Box in the warehouse, for some reason, that requires investigation. But look, I think boxes belong in warehouses. That's what warehouses are for. I guess they disagree. But a box in the jungle.
if you could find a box in a warehouse in the mountains, and even here, I mean, guys are just, I don't know, they're not really trained on how to deal with moving boxes in the environment.
In this area, boxes are not okay. You'll get an alert. It's that simple.
This is where they draw the line.
Yeah, they draw the line. It's like, no, we'll put up with it in the mountains, dude. The warehouse, all right. That other forest, that other little jungle Bolshaya, sure, whatever. We'll allow it. But here, nah, I'm done. I'm done with. Come on, Ethan.
But you know what, Apache? I gotta say this. Like, if I was ever in trouble, you know, and especially if I needed someone to lead the way out, I would definitely follow the guy with the crack cap on.
Yeah, I mean,
he clearly knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, so now this section coming up is definitely where we have to kind of start getting it in gear again. Since the first section, you're just essentially leaving Eva out, don't have to really do anything in particular other than just staying ahead of the guards. And what he's going to do is ever so carefully sneak up past this guard right off to his left, move Eva along. And what he's going to try to do is line up these two guards ahead of him, which are scripted to patrol out and to the right, since there is a fork in the path here. And what he's going to try to do is allow them to move forward just enough to where he could sneak by along with Eva, because again, you don't want to get too close because your footsteps will alert them to you. And what he's going to do is shoot our friendly buddy Keraton here, which is ever so conveniently placed here. You know, I think the devs knew that, we were going to use that for speedrun strat one day. So what he's doing is not just shooting that Keraton for the memes, but it actually makes a noise that the guards will hear, which the purpose of that is to keep them in place so that they don't walk into this next area that Raichu is about to clear. The guards here, which I believe he only has to take out 2. But there is a guard in the grass, or, I guess the quote-unquote snake in the grass. But if you stay close enough away from them and don't make too much noise, you can actually ignore them. They won't really do anything to you. But you do have to take out at least a minimum of 2 guards that will get in your way to the exit.
Eva's getting upset by the croc cap. I don't know if you've noticed.
I did notice. That was quite funny.
So,
she's like,
shut up, Eva, and come on. Yeah, she's like, are you stupid or something? I'm like, no. The people wanted it.
This is me now.
Does she not understand there was a donation incentive?
Yeah, dude. Like, the lovely people at ESA wanted it. Like, what do you want me to do?
It's like, come on, Raichu, get serious.
I mean, honestly, this is the last time I think I'll have that as an incentive for a run, though. This is a pain in my ass.
No, dude. I mean, I gotta say, this was entirely worth it. Just from me to you,
like
and I'm sure Apache feels the same way.
I feel like we're all wearing the croc cap forever now. It's just you're not going to see. It'll be rare to see it without the crocodile cap from now on.
Okay, so now it's actually serious time again. So what Raichu's gonna do here is at the very beginning, he's gonna counter the boss with CQC, because she's scripted to charge you at the very start of this fight. And then after firing 2 shots with the Mosin gun into the head, it's going to throw a stun in the air, which is going to reset her to stand up while being temporarily blinded. And then what he's going to do now is throw her down while setting up another loop with the stun, which you can only do this twice. And I'm going to try to do my best to keep up as he's doing this. And so he's going to fire another round, slam her down for a 3rd time. And then what she's going to do is going to roll away and then move around a little bit, which... if you keep this loop intact, she's scripted to charge you a 2nd time, which then you can, counter with CQC, fire 2 more times, and then finish it off with a last round to the head, assuming you got enough damage. And, of course, shooting the Keraton for the memes, because, after all, we're wearing the croc cap. I'm pretty sure he's going to put on the officer's uniform, give us the good old croc salute. There it is. Saluting right back at you, buddy.
You did it right, you got clean loop in marathon. Let's go.
Yeah. Well done, dude.
I knew you could do it.
So I don't know what's my estimate for this 116, but I think I added like a minute for the croc cap. So we're going to be underestimating. Thank God. The time will. So now it'll come up soon.
Well under it.
But it'll be after we'll have a Russian roulette with Ocelot.
All right, I was just clarifying if that's where we were going to cut it off.
I mean, doesn't matter me one way or the other. I'm gonna eat right up there. I'll let the.
Wait a minute. Wait, where's the croc cap?
What the hell, dude? We've literally been gypped. They keep the officer uniform. The officer uniform.
Ruined. There's no croc cap for this scene. It would have been so emotional. It's like, boss, I know I look goofy in this outfit with the croc cap on, but I can't do it.
I'm disproportionately outraged about this. I am not happy one bit.
Man, they didn't want us to enjoy the memes for this cutscene because they realized, like, listen, it's a serious moment here. We got to get rid of the croc cap. And I'm like, oh, we got it for a reason.
Yeah,
let us wear it.
Why else would I? Oh, this is a waste. I'm sorry, everyone.
I hereby award you the title of Big Croc.
Oh my God. There's only one for one boss and one snake and one crocodile.
Fun fact about this particular little section.
Oh yeah, F's in the chat for the boss. Of course. She gave her life for a good cause, losing to a man with a croc cap.
So we're getting ready on time in the next couple of seconds.
All right, so after the 6th shot of the revolver is going to be time. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and time.
Just dead set, yes.
GG,
and I picked up the stupid croc cap.
Clean estimate with croc cap. Let's
God
go.
Bless.
Yeah, congrats, dude.
I am really glad I changed my estimate from 118 because that's what I used to have it as, but I always was like finishing way under it. So
that's the old days, right? We're in a different time now.
When I was bad at the game. But yeah, I'll just smash these cutscenes at the credits play. So that's been MGS 3 with the croc cap. That was fun. It was.
Yeah, I think you did fairly well given the, early game struggles with Ocelot and, of course, getting hit by the crocodile early game because, it really does set you up for a rough time with Ocelot without the optimal health, but you handled it very Star Runners for the Twitter page.
Oh, yeah, we have a Twitter.
But yeah, so like he said, we have the Twitter, the YouTube, the MGSR Discord. We're always looking to have new people, hop aboard and learn the game. It's always fascinating to see a mix of runners that just enjoy the game and just wanting to run it, and and of course once again if you want to follow these two guys with the Raichu and Apache, they are deeply passionate about MGS3, and absolutely check them out. And once again, that's Metal Gear Speedrunners.com.
Promotion. Plywood would be proud.
I'm sure Plywood would be happy for us doing that.
Yeah, be proud. But yeah, I think I've said everything I can say. If Apache has anything he wants to add, then I'll.
No, just thanks for having me. It was a really good run. Thanks for having us at ESA again. Me, Raichu, and Joe have all done ESA runs this year, so it's been crazy, and you've always supported Metal Gear. Really appreciate it. I think the next game is Catherine Full Body, so enjoy that.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to commentate, and thank you for hosting us, and enjoy the rest of the marathon.
Thank you. Cheers very much, guys. You are indeed correct. It's going to be Catherine Full Body next. Thank you very much for that solid Metal Gear run. Right, we have to move on, obviously. But before I do, just a quick one for you here, Raichu. We had another $20 donation from Make Him an Offer, saying some support from one Irish guy to another. Love to see it, Raichu. So,
thank you for all your donations. To everyone who's donated. It's a good cause.
Cheers. Well, we're going to go to a quick intermission. When we come back, we'll have Catherine Full Body waiting for you. So cheers very much. See you soon.